I got it in my mind I'm going to build a 40 by 40 walnut table, and I'm thinking about putting some cherry accent strips in it. And so kind of started digging out some slabs that I got. They're 2.5 inches thick, and I've got a bunch of them standing back up in here, and I got a couple up down here, and I was like, I'd really like to save them for different projects. So started getting walnut stock out, started digging through, get all kinds of walnut here, and then I've got all kinds of walnut back there. And so I dug all this out, and I thought, well, heck, I'm just going to cut up some stock and start measuring it out, and maybe throw some cherry strips in it. And I don't have any design, just what's in my head. So let's put it together and see if we can make it work. Alrighty, brought the walnut stock into the wood shop here, and I got to cut the length. I got them cut to 42 inches. My table's going to be 40 by 40, but I'm giving myself a couple inches either way. And then once I'm all done, I'll trim it all up and get it squared up. So I'm gonna take it, run these across the joiner, and we'll stick them through the planer and get them all squared up. And then we'll figure out how thick we want the cherry strips and that kind of stuff. So just kind of winging it. That's kind of the way I work it, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, after milling up some of the boards I didn't like, some of them had some imperfections that I didn't like in it. I wanted this here to be fairly clear. I didn't want any really imperfections that I really had to touch up. So pull the slab out here, and I might have to pull another one out, make up for the difference of it. And I'll cut it up real quick and mill it up and get her done. A lot of live edge stuff, and bought my track saw about 8 months ago, and man, I tell you what, I can't believe how much I use that, how much less I use my table saw. This track saw, especially doing live edge stuff, is absolutely, it's the shit. It really is. And I didn't think I'd love it that much. And the cordless, you'd be surprised how much power this thing goes. It goes through 2-inch white oak like nothing. And this here is 2¼ inch walnut, and it buzzes right through it. So I can't recommend it enough. All right, well, that didn't work out the way I was really hoping. It looks like a really nice piece, but on the end, after I cut it, here's the pith of the tree. Just has some cracking in here. This is going to the end of my table. I don't want that. So, be good for another project. So I had to dig through my pile. I found this really nice piece of really super clear walnut. And this here is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to cut it into 42-inch lengths, and then I'll take it in and plane it up and join it up and get it ready, and I'll see you back in there whenever I get it all ready. I have one. Wish that wasn't there, but I'll epoxy that in and clean that up. But I think it's pretty good. It's 41 by 42 right now. I'm gonna bevel the edges, chamfer, whichever you prefer, the edges and stuff on it. So I think it's looking pretty good. I think it's getting pretty close to a glue up. So that's the next step, and I think it's gonna look really good. I like the wide boards on the edges. Looks good. So. All right, looks like a winner. Let her set up and she'll be good to go. All right, got her glued up. Bring her over here where my flattening mill is. I'm gonna square this table up just a little bit. I'm still gonna leave it oversized just a little if I do my final cutting, but I can cut about 42 inches on my flattening jig over here. So I'll take and I'll square this up. I'm gonna throw it on there, and we're gonna take and get her flattened up and ready to go. Right, so before I take it in and sand it up, I'm going to take and do a chamfer edge on it. Put a small chamfer on the top and a larger chamfer on the bottom. And I'm using a router, a large chamfer bit on it. I got it set. So I'm going to take and get this done. All right, I already got my other edges done. So what I'll do now is I'll flip it over and I'll do the bottom. All right, well, I saved you a bunch of watching sanding because everybody just loves watching somebody sand stuff. So I went ahead and got it all sanded. Started at 80, 120, 180, and then 220. I water popped it. I came back and I sanded again with 220, and then 320. And in between there, if there's any imperfections, I filled them with the black CA glue, and it worked pretty good. And on my chamfered edges, this here's a great block. I mean, you can round the edges off if you want, but I use like 150 on one side, 220 on the other. And for doing your CA glue, if you have little spots there, I hit it with 150 and then turn it over, use my 220. Instead of trying to sand it with your DA, because it just rounds over. If you use a flat block, it blocks it really nice and flat, works really, really good. And this is really super handy to have, and they're cheap. It's just 3/4 inch plywood, good grade plywood. You can use MDF if you want, but I use that all the time for sanding edges. It works great. And then I'm gonna finish in Osmo oil. I have Rubio too. Osmo oil is a little bit cheaper to use, and it works great. Depends on the project that I'm working on. A lot of times I use Rubio. My Walnut is because I do, but I'm using Osmo oil on this one, and it works pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the bottom of it. I'll flip it over, and then I'll show the top side of it whenever I go to finish the top side. So it's getting there, getting near the end of it, so it should turn out pretty neat. All right, I got the bottom side finished, flipped it over, and we'll see what the top side looks like. If you put that much Rubio on there, you'd be crying right now. So basically the found the only difference between the Osmos, Rubio does have a catalyst, and the Osmos does have a little more smell to it that lingers, which is nice about the Rubio. Doesn't have the odor. Bevel does look good. that sit on there just for a couple minutes, about 5 minutes or so. And let it soak in. Then we'll come back, clean it off, see what she looks like. All right, here's the finished product. Other than maybe one more coat in a few days. Those beveled edges turned out really nice, really straight. All the lines are really super sharp. Walnut, just amazing. That cherry really brightens it up. And full disclosure, I'm not a professional woodworker. I've never worked with a professional woodworker. I've never worked in a wood shop. I've been doing this for about 2 years. And I have my own sawmill. So I harvest all my own trees. I mill all my own wood. I dry everything. I process everything. So I can pretty much tell you where every piece of wood in my barn, my wood shop comes from. And I have a whole barn full. I do sell lumber, but my techniques, a lot of them are a little different because I've never worked with a woodworker. I'm an auto body technician. And so I've been sanding for about 45 years. I've worked with my hands and pretty proud. People are pretty impressed with my work. I hope you like this. I have to figure out what I'm gonna use for a base. It could be a coffee table, it could be a kitchen table. And pretty happy with this one. And I have some really good other projects, waterfall tables that I've made. And we'll see if we can get some more videos out there, some more stuff that I've done. So appreciate you watching and hope you enjoyed it. If you do, maybe hit me a like and let me know what you think. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.